Hello and welcome to Vampire the Masquerade Long Beach by Night, Season 2, Epilogue 2, Our Deeds Determine Us. Let's meet our vampire.
Hello, I'm Ash Minnick, and I'm playing Vi.
As independent content creators, now more than ever, we rely on the generosity of viewers like you, both in the form of bits and tips, but also in the form of support of our sponsors. Like always, thank you to QueueTimes for hosting us here, which they're still very much doing, even though we're all together but apart. There is Dogmite Games, the makers of my beautiful storyteller screen that I can't use right now. Otherwise, again, it's like up to here because it's my storyteller fort. But they make over 30 custom screens that you can get one and you can have it specialized to look exactly like you want it. So it's all incredible stuff. Visit dogmite.com to find out more. Backblaze, Yev is canon. Yev may or may not be Kane. I'm not convinced if Yev is Kane or Juan is Kane, but I've not seen Yev and Juan together or with Kane. I could be onto something here. But I got to be careful and not say the Dark Father's name 3 times or like the whole stream's going to crash. But visit backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. Again, $6 a month. No hassles, no gimmicks, no strings attached. Keep all of your data safe, protected, backed up, free from the Second Inquisition, the Nosferatu, lurking Shadow Lords, or anyone else who might be after it. You can access your data from a cell phone if you like. If you need to back it up, they will send you a physical external drive. After you back up your data, if you like, you can send it back. They'll refund your money. So again, backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. There is Level Up Dice, which again purveyors of fine luxury gaming content for every clan that matters. I said what I said, Caitiff. Again, fantastic things. They have all the Vampire Clan dice. Again, all sorts of amazing polyhedral dice for D&D and every other game that you might enjoy playing. And last but certainly not least, Games for Love, which is a 501c3 kindness-oriented charity aimed at reducing the suffering of children and increasing their quality of care. 2 things I recently found out. 1, every $10 donated to Games for Love directly impacts 2 children. And 2, now with the coronavirus quarantines, even though statistically speaking, children are resistant, a lot of kids that are already sick are, of course, might be more susceptible. And so they're having to go in a very heavy quarantine and they're struggling dealing with some loneliness and feelings of separation. So we're working to raise money to buy consoles for them, Xboxes, Switches, and just so they can have something to do during all of this like troubling time. So visit gamesforlove.org to find out more. Now, with that being said, oh, and yes, we will have some special guests joining us at a dramatically appropriate moment. On with our vampire story. Some nights have passed since the events at the Black Damp Violet, when the Giovanni attacked St. Valentine's show, and a number of kind lost their life. In the intervening time, you realize most of the news coverage about this has been fairly muted. It was largely reported as a malfunctioning fire suppression system. It has essentially been reported as a tragic accident. Not anything bad on St. Valentine, not anything bad on the club. It's just, a terrible tragedy, essentially. You do know that there were a number of prominent kindred there of all the factions, though, so a number of strings were pulled quite quickly to just sort of make the story go away. What has Vi been up to in some of the nights since this took place?
Initially on the night, I'm sure she would have it did her part to clean up, make sure to help Alquist get all the folks who survived to forget everything after the amazing show. But yeah, probably trying to get the pieces back together, make sure Reese was okay, help them, plan to get the children onto the mountain, as it were. And then she, if she had a spare moment, would have gotten a large package from the desert brought to the house. probably would have done that on her own. And then reached out to a couple folks hoping for a conversation.
You did reach out to a few people that said they would be able to meet you. Joey got back to you with a location. He said the old place back at Signal Hilltop Park, where again you met Joey once before. It is a large open air area overlooking all of Long Beach that in times past was used to send smoke signals out to a Coronado Island. Not Coronado Island. I'm saying the wrong island. It's almost like I live here or something. But yes, it is the same place that you met Joey before. And as you arrive, well, one, do you drive the pickup truck?
How far is it from the home? From our home?
20 minutes. It is not easy walking distance, but a relatively short drive.
No, I took Ghost.
Oh, you rode Ghost. Catalina Island. It just took some time for my brain to reboot there. Catalina Island. Yes, it is an easy trip on Ghost. Again, you don't turn as many heads as you would expect making your way over. You do, on your way up the hill, see an unmarked police car driving in the opposite direction on your way up. When you get up there, it is about 10:30, maybe 11 by now, the agreed upon time. The park is, of course, largely deserted. The odd person may be still walking their dog or whatnot, but this is very much a daytime attraction. There are the art installations of the windowsills to look through to get different views of the city. And from up here, everything really does look quite beautiful. And a few moments later, you see a familiar sight that really is heralded as initially by Ghost's slight nervousness as a large black wolf comes padding out of the darkness. Joey, you see Violet sitting on the back of her horse. And for the sake of people that might not remember, what does Ghost look like?
Talking to you, I believe. Ash?
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, Ghost is an all white horse. They're an American standard, but yeah, it's just an all white horse. With my saddle is black, and as the bridle. It doesn't have a bit though, the bridle, which is, a bit odd to most folks. But Ghost doesn't need a bit. So,
Joey, that's the sight you see as you approach the park.
As soon as I get into the park, I, almost intentionally, as I'm passing one of the art installations, I change form, one side going in as a wolf, on the other side coming out a person. So what did you want to talk about, Vi?
I'm gonna dismount Ghost. Hey Joey, I appreciate you meeting me. We didn't really get a chance to chat after what happened at the club. There's a lot going on there. Unlike what some people might say to make themselves feel better about decisions they've made, I've never judged anyone based on who or what they were. I've judged them on their actions. Mm-hmm. And your actions at the club,
Keep going.
Your actions at the club the other night, I think you've made it clear what kind of person you are, and I just wanted to say that I don't know what your relationship with the or not relationship is with the Giovanni anymore, but I would like to ask permission to pledge fealty to you, sir.
Joey looks a bit confused by that statement, but stares at you for a good amount of time. What does that mean to you?
I think you are a level-headed creature who makes decisions based on what's best for everyone. I heard those folks in there call you boss. I know the tides are turning, and if I have to pledge allegiance to someone, it's going to be someone I trust.
And no one in your coterie is someone you trust?
I trust people in my coterie for sure. Most of them don't want to be in charge of anything. And those that do, they've taken actions to lose my trust. So,
well, I appreciate that. I really do. Things are moving. We are working on some things. Being a part of a pack is a little bit different than being a part of a coterie, which I feel that you know that. I think that this could lead to good things. I'm going to be trying to keep my head low for a little bit. Understandably so, as I think all of us should. I think we have a bigger problem than the Giovanni coming up. But we'll see what happens. I like that. I like it a lot, actually.
hey, can I share something with you?
Yeah, go for it.
I know it's not the same, but and then I'm going to turn into a wolf. So it's Vi becomes a bit larger than a normal wolf, but not quite as large as some other folks in that Joey would be. And it's a very dark red wolf with green eyes.
Joey just laughs for a second and goes, "Let's go hunt." And then Joey turns into a he's not going full Kronos. He's actually turning into his wolf form.
So recall, Joey, you have two wolf forms.
Yes.
Where you have even as a standard wolf, you are a large one. You
Yes.
would be a large specimen even for a normal wolf. And then you have the form above that, the Hispo, which is a dire wolf, where you approach nearly the size of a small horse. Which one of those are you looking for?
I'm going to try and be closer to Vi's size. So I'm going to go to the normal wolf size. Well, slightly larger than wolf size. I'm not going to go full horse.
Right.
We are neither of us normal wolves.
Right. Exactly. Just thick boy wolf. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after I do that, I nod my head and start hunting. I'm looking for anything I can start eating.
You all
and I follow.
Tear off into the night. It is not long Long Beach is an industrial area, but again, there are still like fairly thickly wooded areas to find, and it does not take you long at all to track down a small group of deer that have no chance. It is yeah. You take them easily, and quite frankly, Vi, it is incredible. It's exactly what you'd hoped.
Haven't had a hunting buddy in a long time.
Well, I don't have very many wolf friends anymore, so we can make this a habit.
And Joey, it is exhilarating to be able to just engage of just the simplicity of catching the scent, catching the trail, running them down, and visiting a quick yet still respectful death upon these creatures. This, in the midst of the chaotic tangle your life has become, this is one of the very few things that still makes sense.
Yeah.
And after we leave wolf form, after we've hunted and killed each of the animals, Vi takes the time to basically, it looks like she's just sort of saying prayers over each of them, thanking them. If you're I generally don't eat in front of anyone, but I guess this is an exception. Thank you, sir.
No problem. When you're ready to do this again, just let me know. Like I said, let's try to keep our heads down for a little while. Let's regroup, figure out what's going to come of this, see the land, and see where we can strike.
Yes, sir.
And at that point, Joey turns full wolf and heads out.
You see Joey go bounding off into the night, although I have to ask, just for science, do you all offer a pack howl?
Yeah, absolutely.
That already happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was like kill and then howl. Like
you do hear off in the distance a few replies, scattered, but you do get some replies. And then Joey makes his way off into the night. Vi, as you go bounding back to Ghost, when you get there, you see a familiar form standing there talking to him. A blue-skinned, orange-haired man. He's sort of scratching Ghost's jaw in saying something to him with a genuine kindness on his face that you have never experienced before. You see Joseph Pander standing there talking to your horse.
What a beautiful specimen. You are a tricky one to find, he says without even turning around, still talking to the horse. You know, you're like a ghost. You've disappeared. And you've left no trace. You're very good at what you do. It's probably why you've been around for so long. Ah, we've got company. And I'll turn around. Oh, well, look at you.
Hey, Dad.
Oh, well, moving a little fast there, aren't we? I see that's how you see me, and I take up that responsibility. Well, as my child, I believe it's time for you to fall in line. Is that what you want to hear? You want to hear my grand master plan, the leader of everyone, to be your daddy. Is that what you're looking for?
I mean, I'm looking for answers of a sort. I'm not looking to fall in line. I don't even know where your line is.
You see, most people these nights, I can figure out. Right from the get-go, their motivations are clear. You remain a mystery. You're clearly very powerful. And you clearly have some sort of motivation moving forward. But what is it? And I think you don't even know yourself. I wanted to ask you, what are you unhappy with? What are you looking to fix?
I was not terribly appreciative of I'm in general not terribly appreciative of being left in the dark. It's something I've grown used to, but something about what you did has made it so I can't stomach it quite as well as I used to.
Well,
you came in here all bluster and big talk and took us on some weird journey and then did some shit in that cave and then just left. And I gotta wonder, no one goes through that much effort for no reason, and I have no intention of sitting around waiting for that other shoe to drop. So yeah, I just would love some answers, I guess. What's your big plan?
Well, it's interesting to think that you think that night with the ceremony and everything was the end of it all. That you think I've not been continuing forward with the plan, and perhaps leaving some people in the dark might be a part of it. You see, transformation does not come easily. It does not come overnight. It does not come from drinking some vitae. It comes from a long period of being shaped, being molded. As long as you have a clear path ahead, you can become steel. But you don't know the formula. You don't know how to get there. That's why I'm here to help. I can forge you into what you need to be. Not just you, but others as well.
Yeah, that just still sounds like just a bunch of bullshit talk. I mean, do I have to sign up for like a monthly plan to get the answers, or are you going to actually give me some information?
Well, how about this? How about you answer the question that I asked? What exactly are you unhappy with? Are you unhappy with the amount of information that you're getting? Would you like a regular update? I could be happy to provide that if you would make yourself easier to find. Are you unhappy with the system itself? Because that's what we're both working towards.
No one's happy with the system. Well, maybe 1% of people are happy with the system. Most people are not happy with the system.
And what are you doing to change that? You just said you're sitting around waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, why don't you get out there and try changing some things? What can you do? You are a supernatural being.
What I'm unhappy with is being tied to people that I have no choice in being tied to.
See.
I like choosing my master, as it were.
So you feel that when I clearly asked you and you said yes, you were unfairly turned. This is just me clarifying because I know it can seem a little bit aggressive.
No, I made a choice. I'm fully aware of that. I made a choice.
And you expected something more than the severance of your bonds.
Look, I just want to know what else you're expecting of us. What big battle you're going to come back and ask me to fight for you.
See, this is where it's getting interesting. All right, what battle are we talking about? Is it something where I'm going to bring my army of panders forth and wipe out kindred civilization as we know it? Or is it a mental battle where we play the game of chess? We find out who is baron or prince or whatever term you want to use for your enslavement.
None of that shit matters.
Well, then what does matter? Tell me, Vi. I'm here now. I'm listening. I'm here to help you.
do you have a plan to bring in all your panders and take out all kindred civilization?
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret, Vi. The plan is to let the panders do that themselves. No one's going to rally behind me for a great battle. I'm not physical prowess enough to take on the eldest of our kind. We have to take it a different way. We have to make people decide to fight for themselves. We have to sever the supernatural bonds that are holding them to these masters. Yes, I have a plan, but my plan doesn't necessarily match up with your plan. My plan might deal with Reese, might deal with you, might deal with Alquist, might deal with Lula.
What is your plan with Reese?
Reese needs further temperament. They need further transformation. I know that I can share that with you now, because you'll understand. Reese is younger, seen less, but seen horrible things in a short amount of time. We need to temper this, point it in the right direction, but it needs to be their choice. It can't be an order coming from someone on high, whether it's from you or from me.
You know, some of those horrible things they saw were caused by you, right?
In order to create a great artist, is it not necessary to go through the pain of life? The Buddha themselves came to live the misery of human condition.
Oh, so that's what you're doing. You're creating artists by instilling pain.
I'm creating warriors with the tools to carve their own destiny. And you're not excluded from that. You've seen the horror. You've seen the horrible things. I didn't have to give you a lesson in that. But now, it seems you need a lesson on direction. You don't even know where to go yourself. You're always looking for someone else to tell you what to do. Another pack to join. What do you want?
Can you undo what you did?
Do you want me to?
Not for my sake, no.
I don't feel the need to undo what I've done, because I'm not done doing it yet.
There are certain fuck, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
Lula misses all her friends.
Lula is a special case altogether. Not very many Malkavians can come forth and sever the bond like that. It's been an interesting study. Do you not think she's better off for it? Do you not think she's clear-headed with the motivation and moving in the world as one would in society?
It doesn't matter what I think. She's unhappy about it.
And it is in her unhappiness that you find dissatisfaction. So is it your intention to make Lula happy? Is that truly what you want?
I guess it's my intention to help people get what they want. Maybe because...
I see where the confusion is coming from. It's the ends justifying the means. You want people to be better. You want people to be stronger. But you don't want to see them go through the struggles and the hardship that it takes to get there. Believe me, I've been through it. You've been through it in my mind. You know what it turned me into. Lula may be suffering now, but I truly believe this is the best thing for her. If she makes the choice to become what she was before, at least now she'll have the clarity of having the option of living a life.
That's what I want. That's what I'm dissatisfied with. I'm dissatisfied with all of these people thinking they know what's best for others.
Yes.
And feeling that they have the power to make decisions for everyone.
Yes.
You don't get to decide what's best for Lula or what's best for Reese.
I do. Because there's no one here to stop me. Is your intention to stop me? Is that what you want to do?
Might be.
Well, I look forward very much to seeing that.
Vi, at that exact second, you see 2 red dots appear on Pander. One over his heart and one in the middle of his forehead.
Well, looks like I'm not the only one looking to stop you.
My dear, you're not the first one to make this enemy, and I'll open up my arms.
You don't do any. You're just opening. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am opening up my arms in like a gesture of surrender, exposing
I wasn't
my
sure.
sorry, my weak points type of thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. A moment later, like the beams just sort of linger for a second, but when you don't act hostilely, Vi, they just switch off.
Oh, I see.
Is it your intention to stop me, Vi?
When it comes to me and mine, yes.
Well then, at least we've clarified that. Now, when it comes to Lula, are you dissatisfied with her being barren?
She's not barren.
She is barren.
I don't know when the Anarchs started acting like they just walk around claiming things. That's...
What is a title more than anything than someone claiming things? As long as she says she's the Baron and people believe that she is the Baron, then she is the Baron.
Well, I don't believe she is, so there goes your theory.
It's been the topic of this whole conversation. This whole world, the life that we live, the unlife as it were, it does not revolve around you and what you believe and what you think. Now, I know this seems ironic coming from me, but if you want to mold the world into the place you want it to be, if you want to shape it, you have to create the tools yourself. You have to go out there and sculpt it. You can't just sit back and let things happen. You have to make a stance.
I'm sorry, you still just sound like a bunch of bluster and no stance. What do you stand for? What are you dissatisfied with?
I stand for injustice, and you know that. But that is a blanket term that is hard to use in our society. What defines justice? What defines fairness? That is individually decided. Now, the circumstances on how you get there can be different. You can live and unlive 1,000 lifetimes and still not be satisfied, still see injustice everywhere. But when you see a great and large injustice, it's all pieces of a puzzle. Now, this is my vision. This is what I stand for. The people that I work with, I give them the tools because I know better. I can't force them to fight for me. They have to want it themselves. And you're not there yet. Neither is Reese. Maybe Lula is. You're all at different stages. You're all different people. But you're all going through similar things. I'm not asking you to trust me. But you are sitting back and waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You're looking for someone to lead you. And I'm telling you, you're better than that. You're smarter than that. You've lived longer than that. And you know it.
Out of the darkness, both of you sort of at the same time see something small scampering your direction. You both immediately recognize it's a raccoon. It's up on its hind legs and it's like tucked over like it's carrying something. And when it gets close, it sort of like looks up at both of you And it looks right at you, Joseph, and it says, I'm supposed to tell you that they're coming out, and if you do anything crazy, I'm supposed to pull this pin, and it shows you that it's got a grenade in its hands.
Thank you very much. Message received and message sent.
A moment later, from two different sides, one from out of the tree line and one from behind the parking lot, you see two people who would look homeless if not for the fact that they both have machine guns up, like very much coming forward in a tactical crouch towards you. They have thick, bushy beards and like disheveled clothing. Vi, you instantly recognize Typhus and Zetes. And
Hey, boys.
you're like, ma'am, we realized things were getting a little heated up, and we didn't want to break cover, but we also didn't want to blow this guy's head off at the wrong moment. So
That's fair.
I'll go
Pander,
back into the gesture of surrender.
Pander, you see how one of them is looking at Vi. You know the blood bond when you see it. The other one looks right at you, and he's like, I heard you mention Miss Lula Castile's name one too many times, sir. You could think of me as a member of her security force.
Well, according to Vi here, you could think of me as her father, as it were.
He just sort of like tilts his head, but he very much does not lower the machine gun. Neither of them have. They're just standing basically at opposite sides of you. And you see one of them has the red beam on your chest and the other one has the red beam right on your forehead. And they're just standing there.
I'll slowly move as if I'm going to take one step forward and judge their reactions and like how quick they are reacting to things. So I'm just sort of...
Yeah, they don't again, ice water.
So then I take one full step and just sort of lean forward to get closer to Vi. It's going to be a decision that you're going to have to make. And it's going to have to be soon. But trust me when I say that those who follow of their own volition are 1,000 times stronger than anyone bonded to you supernaturally. And I'll slowly start backing away.
What's the decision, Pander?
Spoilers.
Typhus looks over at you, Vi, and is like, permission to speak freely, ma'am?
Of course.
He looks at you again, still very much with the machine gun tucked up. Pander, you have been a fighter long enough to realize you don't recognize this weapon he's holding. You've seen every make and model of firearm for 150 years. He's holding something different.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and he's like, hey, look, Nightcrawler, I heard about you.
Oh?
You killed all those people back in November.
Did I kill them?
You set those maniacs loose on Long Beach that were breaking in homes and painting people's walls like Pablo fucking Picasso.
Or did I break their chains and set them free?
See, that's the thing. And he does like what you're calling breaking chains, we call creating fucking monsters and turning them loose on innocent people. So, again, with respect, ma'am, who the fuck do you think you are?
Just as a storyteller note, for the last 2 rounds or so, you can see that I have been sort of building something up. And now you can see that mist starts pouring out of like my pants legs and my collar and my sleeves and things. I'd like to see you try, Vi. I'd like to see you try and stop me.
What was that, Vi?
Shoot him.
You say shoot him? They're like,
As soon as I see the mist, yeah.
right. Yeah. They're like, understood. Weapons hot. Pander.
Yes.
What is it that it is your intention to do before they try and open fire?
So I'm using mist form. And I'm going to sort of, it doesn't require a roll. It takes 3 turns though. So it was the build up. It does take a rouse check though. And then
I'll handle that for you.
Yeah. And basically anything physical will just pass through me and I can move through like crevices and cracks. So I'll just sort of seep into the earth.
So when you're like, shoot him, they immediately are both like, pow, 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 pow. But you see the machine guns they're carrying, huge red plumes come out of the guns. And you see like bursts of fire move towards Pander. And it does pass right through him. But Joseph, it still hurts. You make that. Yeah. Yeah. You see Typhus steps right in front of you, Vi, and starts kind of like pushing you backwards. And Zetes is just sort of like looking as the mist starts to dissipate. You see he hits his ear and he starts saying something. You can't quite make out what it is.
Neither of us can make out what it is.
He very much like.
And then for all intents and purposes, I've vanished.
Okay.
They're like both. You see both of them are like head on a swivel type thing. And Typhus still has his gun up, and you realize Zetes has pulled 2 things off of his belt and is holding 2 things that look like grenades. And they're like, "Ma'am, how do we proceed? Do we need to get you out of here? Do we need to pursue?"
No, I'm fine. That was a neat trick. Oh. Thank y'all for the backup. That was
Miss.
yeah, that gentleman may be the only one who can help Lula with her goal of becoming complete again, but he also has other benefits.
When you say this, Zetes' eyes widen and they're like, "Well, I guess it's good we didn't notch him."
You wouldn't have been able to notch him, but
they're like,
but you heard him. That was impressive, guys.
"Is he gone?"
I think he's a bit like Santa. You know? He's always watching.
With
So I wouldn't
respect,
say
ma'am.
anything. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of horror movies in my time, and this is the moment when the monster is like right behind us and like tears our fucking heads off. So I just
We're the monsters now.
You realize this entire time, Ghost seems fine, Vi. Ghost is incredibly calm.
Ghost is a good horse. Yeah, I'm gonna go check in with Ghost. How you doing?
Ghost is like, why is he hiding in the ground?
They do that sometimes.
When you hide in the ground, it's different. I can still, like, I know that you're there, but he's like, I smell him. He's kind of everywhere.
You're not connected to him like you are to me. But you still smell him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Ghost.
I don't want you to hurt him. He's a nice man.
He's been hurt quite enough, I think. Thank you, Ghost. I'm going to turn on heightened senses. And I'm going to say, Typhus Zetes, I appreciate what you've done here. I think we're good, and I think you've scared them off. And you should probably go, get back to reconnaissance on that military base.
Yeah, we got one other stop to make tonight.
Yeah, and also, get yourselves an ice cream or drink or something.
Zetes looks over at Titus and he goes, "Code Orange," and he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Code fucking Orange." And you see Typhus also pull something off of his belt. And Zetes looks around and he raises his voice. He's like, "These are kill switches. Either one of us drop these."
What is
Mr.
Code
Not.
Orange?
Typhus looks at you and he shows you something. And it looks, you've seen a flashbang. It's not very long. It's like a small tube. You kind of can't see it because he's gripping it very tightly. He's like, "It's a final option, ma'am. We drop it. It's a significant explosion. It's anti-kindred ordinance. Only works once."
So you would kill me?
He looks at Zetes and he's like, "I feel, ma'am, if he comes back and he kills the two of us, you will follow in short order."
Okay. Well, why don't you gentlemen then get out of here so that doesn't have to happen?
Yeah. He's you see Zetes very quickly starts moving away because Zetes is Lula's ghoul. Typhus, very much his eyes linger on you for a moment, and he's like, You're sure you're gonna be okay?"
Yeah, that raccoon was a good trick though.
Do you like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was adorable.
He leans in and he's like, "Believe it or not, Ghost thought of that." And he looks at me and Ghost sort of like nods at him, and he does turn and like move away. Like he's got the gun kind of up in one hand, but they're both like very much as they move over towards the parking lot, and you see them get in the car, and then you see the car drive away, leaving you and Ghost alone in the darkness.
After they leave, I'm gonna sit on the ground in a kind of a cross-legged position and just wait.
Pander, you are still completely aware of all of this. If should you choose to reveal, you were aware of all of that.
She's just been sitting around and waiting, and she chooses to sit around and wait. Yeah, I think I will try to outweight her, but I don't think it's going to happen because there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces that I have to sort of keep an eye on. So at one point, I try to hopefully come across as like a mirage or something like that, but you do see sort of like steam coming up through crevices of the ground and eventually forming later on somewhere else.
There you are.
Yes. You are quite patient.
I have been around a long time. I have gone through a lot of things. I think I've been around as long as you, Pander.
Are you ready to stop waiting?
Yeah. But I don't want to move forward on your terms. I'd like to move forward on mine.
Oh, then what are your terms?
I just want Long Beach to be left alone.
Left alone by me?
By everyone.
Well, I'd like to see you enforce that, and I look forward to seeing it happen.
I don't think I can enforce it alone. I don't think most people can do anything alone, Pander. So I would like to know what you want in exchange.
For me leaving Long Beach alone? Or am I part of your team now?
Well, I suppose that depends. You had a lot of good talk before the cave. A lot of positive, motivational speeches about kindred being their own people, being independent. I respect the idea of giving the clanless a clan, even if it just means we're seen as kindred again and not just lesser than. I think that's a good thing, Pander, but I can't quite figure if you believe any of that or if you use that to just draw people in.
And I tell you, Vi, if we were to continue this thought exercise, in one scenario, we end up having the tools to create a just society where everyone is working towards their own betterment. And on the other hand, I come into power, and as soon as I get done in, as it's said, another kindred comes to power through some other means. No. You misunderstand. If you do end me, finally, I've created those who have the tools and capacity to stand up for themselves. And you are no different. I will make you a bargain.
Okay.
Lula is the Baron, and you will lend your support as such. And I, in return, will leave Long Beach alone to the best of my abilities, and also I will begin research to find out how I could restore Lula to her Malkavian connections. Does that sound like a fair deal?
How does Lula being Baron help you?
I don't need to explain that part to you.
I will let Lula call herself whatever she wants. But I have already pledged myself to someone.
Well, it seems that you are new to the art of kindred bargaining. It wouldn't be a sacrifice if it was easy to give up, now would it? Changing alliances is not an easy deed. And I realize that I'm asking something of great value. And recognize that I am also offering something of great value. Apparently, it's what you want.
I don't want it that bad.
Well, then, seems the choice is made.
I'm not new to kindred bargaining, Pander. I've just not ever been one to abide by it.
Well, let's make our own system.
I stand by my word. You can't make me go back on that. That being said, I chose to be a pander. I know that. I honor that choice. But when it comes to my day-to-day,
I appreciate the thought behind it. But honoring the choice of being a pander means affecting your day-to-day. Being a pander means upsetting the status quo, means going against the rules and creating a better system. So maybe you need to define what that means to you. You say you're a pander, but what does that mean to you? You don't have to answer me now.
I just feel like following a baron and upsetting the status quo don't really mesh.
How do you know unless you try?
I feel like we're at an impasse here.
That's one way to look at it.
I have an olive branch.
All right, I'm listening.
It's back at my house. It's a package.
Would you like me to follow you to your dwelling?
Probably not a good idea.
How about this? Let's set up another meeting. Huh? You are further along than all the other panders. I know that. And I'm not treating you like a child or a neonate. You have the experiences. I want to be in communication, and you making yourself difficult to find makes that difficult to happen. How about here? We meet here in 3 nights' time.
Okay. She's someone that doesn't have a clan or a family anymore, so.
Is it someone that you'd like to change?
It's someone I'd like to give the opportunity to change. As you say, choice is important.
Let's meet here. You can explain the situation to your friend. And we will come unarmed next time.
Oh, my friend will not be talking until we meet.
Your rules, then?
No, I mean, she's she's in torpor.
I see.
Yeah. She was someone I was ordered to kill at the time. She was the last member of my family, so I hid her in the desert instead.
Pander, you are aware of her family members that had come to town. You are aware that she had a conflict with them. You yourself were present for a shootout where one of them was killed, but you did not know what happened to the youngest member of the family.
All this time. It's been all this time.
Yeah.
You are just supreme at sitting around and waiting for things to happen, aren't you?
I wait for the right time to do things. I wouldn't say I wait for them to happen.
There will be some more research that I will have to do. We'll keep our meeting. You are always full of surprises. Are we finished?
Unless you got something else.
Seems I've got to make a trip to the desert, and I'll mist away.
And you dissipate out into the night, leaving you alone, Violet. Where do you go?
I'm gonna sit back down, and I'm gonna try. I may not be successful, but I'm gonna say, a shadow king or man or whatever you are. I don't know if you're around. I just want to say thank you for staying out of that last fight like you said you would.
After a few moments, you hear a voice from nowhere in particular saying, "A deal is a deal, right? But there's just one thing you might not have taken into account, Violet. That whole talk with Joey was beautiful and heart-wrenching. In fact, if I gave a shit, I'd have cried. But unfortunately, I'm not the only one who noticed." And when he says that, Vi, you sort of feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and you open the other sight as much to look for the Shadow Man as anything. And you notice you're surrounded by a pack of large spectral wolves. And that's a good place for us to stop. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Ash Minnick. I don't know if it's possible to get Xander and or Jake back in here. I know we're uncharted territory technologically, but first, yes, Ash, who you are, where to find you?
I'm Ash. Hi, I'm Ash Minnick. You can find me at Astronaut44 on Instagram or moonclad_Ash on Twitter. When does this air? Oh, so
Next
check
week.
out.
Is there anything worth announcing? Yeah.
Yes, actually, on April 1st, there's a thing that's very exciting that Xander is in as well. And it is Hillfolk. We're running a game of Hillfolk.
Hillfields.
Hillfields, yeah.
Hillfields, Fieldfolk. Some of you may know that to be my most favorite game because I talk about it all the time. But yeah, so that's starting on this Wednesday at April 1st at 7:30. So
No joke.
on Scabby Rooster, which is exciting. And then, obviously always tune in to QueueTimes on Sundays and every other day because it's the best, except for Wednesdays at 7:30. Really sorry, Jake.
Wednesdays for 7:30. How long is that going on, by the way? How many episodes do you know? Can you say?
I don't. I think it's either 5 or 6, but it's awesome. It's oh my god, my voice. I'm
puberty hit right then in front of us.
Everything dropped.
Yeah.
I am GMing. It's with Xander Genre, Becca Scott, Luis Carrazzo, Abria Iyengar, and Alejandro Cejudo. And we're going to be in the dream space. It's dreaming, but space.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? Returning champion, Xander Genre.
Yes, hello. Thanks for having me back. I always love playing Pander. Yeah, and then I am on Twitter at Xanderific. That's with 2 R's and 1 F. Also on Twitch at Xanderific. I stream Monday afternoons and Tuesday afternoons. Then Monday nights, you can catch me here on QueueTimes for Clear Skies, our Star Trek RPG show, and that is 6:30 Pacific time on QueueTimes. And then I guess Friday nights for Vampire, the epilogues are still going on. There are 5 total, I believe.
5 total, 1 down, 5 total.
Yeah. Well, so keep tuning in. World of Darkness Twitch channel, 8 p.m. on Friday nights.
Yeah, no, because it's just gonna be like X's baking show now. Right?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a walk in the park. Nothing bad will happen.
No, it's fine. No, it's super happy fun time with X the Malkavian. Yes. And last but certainly not least, the man who makes all of this possible.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name's Jake. You can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT. They have already mentioned all of the awesome things that we have here at QueueTimes. I actually knew about Ash's show, and so we have plans to help support that as much as we possibly can. So yeah, stick around. Go to @_QueueTimes on Twitter to find out all the cool new things that we've got. And
you will have your own epilogue here.
Yeah. I wasn't nervous about it until Vi pledged their allegiance to me, which frightened the hell out of me.
Yeah, no, it should. It's good. It's fine.
Everyone, I think.
Again, to quote my dear friend Jason Carl, I'll make a note.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we will see you all soon.